Welcome to the channel. Today we're working on my Onan Marquis Gold 5500 with a coupler failure. Stay tuned as I walk you through the steps that I went through to repair this and get it back up and running. So this is where I'm at after I've got it off the platform. I tried it yesterday and started it up, smelt burning rubber, and then these chunks came flying out. I actually didn't fly out, I didn't see these until I took it apart, but I smelt burning rubber and knew something had come apart. I thought it was a belt. After research, people talked about pulleys coming apart, which there's obviously that one in there, and then I'm assuming there's another one back here. Not sure which one's coming apart just yet. The belt looks fine, so I don't know. I'm gonna pull it apart. Haven't seen anyone do this before, so I came up with a little puller out of this flat piece of metal and just a regular old steering wheel puller. Hopefully it'll work, because you got the bolts here and here, and then you're going to pull it off with the little keyway there. I don't think these have to come off. I'm going to try it, see what happens. But I'll get you set up and then we'll move on from there. Here's a closer look of my ghetto setup here. I just had the regular old steering wheel puller, whatever you want to call it, back here, and then just made a plate, drilled some holes, and put it in there like that, and we'll see what happens. Well, here goes nothing. That was pretty easy. Oh, you know what? I should have taken these off. Looks like they're kind of binding on there. Let me take those off real quick. Guess we probably don't want to mess these up too much. And just like that, it's off. Another thing I forgot to do, should have taken the belt off first. Much like a car, you gotta take the belt off before you take the pulleys off. Oh well, there it is. There's all that, where all that rubber came from. So yes, you can all make fun of me now. I should have taken the belt off the tensioner here before I'd taken the pulley off, but it came off regardless. So, not exactly sure what they're supposed to look like to begin with, but my guess is there's supposed to be rubber in there. It connects it to this side. All through there. And that's what came apart, and ultimately what made my generator stop running, or at least I hope that that's all it is. There may be more. I need to pull maintenance on the carburetor and all that too, but this was the major problem. Something I just noticed, and I wonder if this might have been when it was coming apart. On the back side of this pulley, the bolts a little shaved down, and sure enough, they're just gouged right into that case. I'm assuming that's when it was coming apart, but not sure. Now I'm going to take the actual coupler off, at least I think that's what it's called. It's got 4 nuts on each side, it looks like. Yeah, come right off. Yep, so there's that half. Okay, so there's so little information online on how to do any of this. You can find like the operator's manual, not so much on the service manual, so I'm making this up as I go. See if this comes off nicely too. Have to make my own threads again after they've been ground down. And yeah, stupid me, those are hot now. All right. So there's that. So this must be the coupler that people always say fail. It goes from the pulley on the belt to the flywheel, or whatever you want to call this. It's splined to the motor there. That's apparently all I need. The belt still looks fine. I may reuse it, or I may just put a new one on. I mean, it's not even cracking or anything. No telling when it's been replaced last. I'll take this side apart too, just to make sure there's nothing goofy going on over there. But I don't think there's any rubber parts on this side. So here's some more evidence of that coupler coming apart. All this rubber chunk down there, and then debris all the way up in here, all that rubber. But yeah, it definitely shredded itself. I don't know if these like can slowly come apart and like kind of, I guess that's what this finer dust is it just like barely, I don't know, shaving itself, and then finally it fails completely and you get chunks like this. So now I'm going to take apart this other side just to see if there's anything else going on with that, check the bearings on these pulleys and stuff. Oh, there's a big old spring back there. Guess that makes sense. And there's even a whole lot of debris in there. I don't know if that must be more of the coupler, or this might be coming apart, I'm not sure. I've read online that people talk about bearings going out. I gotta figure out what bearings they're talking about. I gotta pull that off too. I'll have to do some research to see if what bearings they're talking about. If there's anything behind this, I'd imagine it's right into the generator part, so I'm not sure if we can even get to any of those, but we'll look into it. So I'm doing this video completely backwards. I didn't decide to do a YouTube video until I already had the whole generator on the bench and mostly apart. So I apologize for that. But now I'm going to show you basically in reverse. I'm using my little forklift here to help move it around. This is after I've already got it all apart, diagnosed the belt, or actually coupler issue. I am going to replace the belt, ordered that, tune-up kit, all the good stuff while it's out. But just kind of showing you how I move stuff around, at least from here. I'll try to show you as I'm installing it back in the trailer. It's kind of a beautiful disaster to do at that part. It did not go well, so I will show you trying to go back together so that you at least have an idea of how things come apart in case you have to do this yourself. A forklift helps. Unfortunately, our trailer is not on concrete, so getting it over there and into it is not as easy and with a forklift. But like I said, I'm ordering the coupler, a belt, and then a tune-up kit, which will be plugs, oil, filter, fuel filter, that kind of stuff. What I will do while it's off is I will take the carburetor apart, get it all cleaned up, just because I'm already here. I may or may not show that, I'm not sure. Everybody and their brother does that on YouTube, so nothing to see there. But this is kind of, I have it set up like this, hanging off my bench right now, so that I can finish draining the oil and get to the filter and everything. I was not patient this morning while taking this apart, so I didn't let the oil drain all the way. Plus it was super thick because I didn't get it to warm up because it didn't actually run anymore. So now I'm going to let it drain while I wait for parts. All right, we are back. Got some parts in. Got the coupler out with the old, in with the new. Got a part number here, straight from Cummins, 0512-0274. That's going to be the coupler, and then we also got a new belt, 0511-0190-01. So now we're going to start putting this back together with some new parts. Hopefully get this thing back running. You might be able to hear my backup generator going right now. The joys of off-grid living, cloudy days, AC's on. Sometimes you need a generator. That's why I want to get this bad boy back together, because it's much quieter. Alright, so here we're going to put it back together. Got the coupler going to go on the back side of this flywheel, like so. Put your nuts on. These are 10mm nuts. 4 of them on this side. Torque to spec. Flip this over. Now, I don't even know if it's possible to put this on backwards. I guess so. Just don't. It's going to sit in this recess. You can kind of tell because the nuts will sit down in here a little bit. So it's going to fit right on like that. And then 4 more nuts on this side. So I can get them started. Buzz these on. Alright, and then we're going to work on getting it on there. Alright, so to get the new belt on, we have to have this tensioner off. This 13mm bolt on that. There's a spring in there that will have to be lined back up. Kind of notches right in there on this side, and this little guy will go right in that hole. Set that down for a second. Feed our belt through here. Have it sit there for a second, and we'll get this back on. Alright. I don't remember how I got this on the first time. I took it off to inspect it. Obviously a trick I'm missing. But you basically have to get it in there on the spring. Oh, there it goes. So you have to put the little spring nubbin in that hole, and then you can use it to leverage it up there. Put your bolt back on. Tighten that up. Then your belt's going to be sitting in like this. Well, that's going to be interesting to try to get it on this pulley at the same time and hold this tensioner open. Maybe we can grab slack like this and give me more room. See if that'll do it. Feed the belt on back here. Find my keyway. Get the belt from twisting up. Line it up just so. Don't pinch your fingers like this. It kind of hurts. And then on it goes. So then we're going to put the main bolt in here. This big guy, which I believe is a 19mm. And of course, because I can't find a service manual anywhere, I'm just kind of basing the torque off of how hard it was to get it off. So, got your belt on the inside pulley here. Get a 1/2" ratchet on this tensioner. Pull it up as far as it goes, and it won't go. Of course it won't go. Alright. That sucked. Forgot there's a big old lip right here that doesn't allow you to get around the pulley. So let's take it back apart and try it a different way. So maybe if I can, oh no, of course now it's stuck on there. Ah! I have to get my puller out again. Alright, so I showed you how not to put this on. Now I think I got it figured out. At least I'm going to give it a shot. So I already pulled this off. I didn't show you that because that's boring. So what you're going to have to do, pull this tensioner up, get a nice long punch with a hole right through the middle. Hey, voila, it's locked. So now what we can do, pull this off again, get it on this pulley because it has such a big lip you can't get it over later. Put it back on. And get it all lined up. And there it is. So that's how you're supposed to do it. Good to know. Sometimes you got to figure stuff out for yourself when they don't give you service manuals. So there's that. So now we'll put this back on. 19mm bolt. That. Belts in place. You can kind of see through these windows with your belts on your pulley properly. So now we'll get our 1/2-inch ratchet and release this tensioner. Voila! It is on. All right, one step closer. Now, get these bad boys back on too. They are slotted a little bit for adjustment. So without knowing what the adjustment is, or the clearance between the magnet and this pickup, I'm just going to put it right back on where the old bolts were. You can see, it's a nice thing about when it gets dirty, you can see where the head of the bolt was sitting. So I'm just going to put that right back on, right where it came off. All right, now we get a ratchet, see if I can't turn this over and check the clearance on that. And by check, I mean it's not hitting it, because that's about all I know it needs to not do, as I don't have the spec for the clearance in there. Looks good to me. Moving on to the next step. So now we'll move on to the next step of assembly. I'll try to explain it as best I can, show you all the steps. I did not record anything taking this apart, so I apologize. You'll have to just watch this as I assemble it and then know how to take it apart from there. So this is the little cooling fan. It's got a metal plate on the back, 3 bolt holes, 3 10mm bolt holes right there. That's going to line up in this bad boy with these bolts. All right, the next steps, put this heat shield back on. Goes around the exhaust here. Fits in here, just so. Gotta do it before you connect the exhaust back up. There'll be 3 bolts that hold it, 2 right here in the front by the exhaust inlet, I guess you could say. Slightly difficult to get to. And then one on the back, right next to the Torx mount for the generator going to the base. Then 10 millimeter on a nice long extension, and buzz them in. Next step will be to reconnect the exhaust to the muffler. Wish I would have remembered to buy a gasket, but I didn't, so we may have a little bit of an exhaust leak. 213 nuts. And buzz those on. Alright, last step. Once it's assembled on the bench. Forgot this little guy. Ground strap, 13 millimeter bolt. Goes right in there. Actually, under that bolt. And then if you're lifting it by straps, found these nice little slots that are around it. Little strap will just fit right in there. And now I can lift it up with my forklift. I'm going to put it on my little trailer and get it over to my big trailer where this goes into. Got a couple little slots here. Pick it up with straps. If not, just got a buddy. Heft it over wherever you need to go. So we'll pick it up once I get it over to our 5th wheel. All right, so here I am. Got the generator back to the front of our 5th wheel out of the shop. This is the orientation that's going to go back in. My thought is I'm going to use a transmission jack to lift it back up in there. I don't have a slide or anything like that. It would be easier to possibly get it back on. So I'm trying something new. This is not how I took it out. I built a little stand here to slide it out on. It ended up not being very stable and it kind of fell out. So that also doesn't help you putting it back in. So I'm going to make this up as I go, like usual, and see what happens. So to look at some of the things that we ended up with, because I didn't take videos of this coming out, these will be fed back in. These are the AC output lines, wires, whatever. I'll show you where they feed in. Then we got main starter wire, positive and negative. Then this goes to the on-off switch button, prime, the fuel pump button, all that good stuff. And then I just have my fuel line just pushed up in here just so it doesn't leak out, but you can kind of see it running down through there. And then this is for the fuel pump also, to power the fuel pump. So I'll feed that all back in once I get the generator closer, and hopefully we can slide this thing back in without me hurting myself. All right, got it over here. Got it on the transmission jack. I didn't record it because it was a little sketchy by myself and there were some choice words. But got it up there, should work. Something I just thought of to check while it's out are the brushes. I already took the bolt out, 10 millimeter right here. And then your brushes come out and there they are. They are spring loaded down in there. Not sure how long these are new, but being that they push all the way into there, something like that when they're actually pressed in, tells me there's quite a bit of room left. I don't know how quickly these wear down, but this is where I got think 1,300 hours on it or something like that. I imagine these are still the original, not sure. But I'm gonna call those good. I'm gonna put them back in. All right, I'm gonna get these brushes back in and then start lifting this into place so I can get the other wiring hooked up. Goes in just like that, holds these wires in place as well with one little bolt. There's that. Now I'm going to start lifting it up and hopefully it doesn't fall. Oh, if my impact will stay on. Pull out a little bit. Too close. Well, that kind of worked out. Now let's see if I can. Oh, it's even going to roll in there a little bit for me. Now, let me get sketchy again. And of course, it came off the end of the boards, so I'm committed. Maybe not. There's two rails under here that you got to get it to slide on, and I missed this first one. There it is. Now to keep it up there. Not sure why they couldn't put this on a slide. I would gladly have paid extra for that. There it goes. All right. So now we'll bring this jack back to steady this. Maybe. Maybe we'll do that. There it is. So I read online somewhere that these are like 260 pounds. Maybe not, because I'm able to move it around somewhat easily. But who knows? And actually I went too far in because I got to hook up the wiring. It's going to mainly come all over here. But then I got to put the main cover back on. So what I'll do next, work on the wiring, probably slide it back out once the wiring's on, and then put the cover on, and then see if we can't ram it home. All right, now we're gonna get the AC wires hooked up all through this conduit here. Gotta go through two sets of holes, one on the very bottom and then one on the top here. And it's gonna go through a locking ring to lock it into the bottom one, and this grommet that's gonna go on the bottom side of that plate. So we'll start feeding it through the bottom here. Something like so. And then the locking ring for the conduit. Come all the way down in there. Once you got the ring on, down like that, you're going to want to feed your grommet through. Poke all the wires in. Now we got to get through the upper plate. Now we can feed the grommet up and in the upper hole. There it is. Now we can put the conduit in the bottom. End up somewhere in that direction, and I'll just snug it up. And actually, come to think of it, I think this grommet's supposed to be bigger. Let me see if I can find another piece real quick. So yeah, as I suspected, that grommet's supposed to be bigger. Here's the other half of it, not in the greatest of condition. And I forgot to get another one. So it's not going to do a whole lot for me, but yours should be better and in better condition. I guess just for the heck of it, I can wrap it around here until I get another one and take this thing back out again, which hopefully won't be for a long time, but this might do something just sitting in here. I don't know. Make someone feel better. All right, so now coming back up here, your neutrals and ground come to this one post right here. Got a 10mm bolt in it. And they all stack on there. Sorry, my big hand's probably in the way. But basically, just get them all on this one bolt. And then try to get it started. Probably can't see exactly what I'm doing, but there's a So I didn't notice in the last clip that my microphone died, so I'll have to go back and fix the audio on that. Plus I was a little out of frame on this last step, so I'll just show you again the two hot wires, which are the black ones, one with a yellow stripe. They're going to go right in the back of your switch panel on the back of your breakers. One black one with the yellow stripe on top, solid black on the bottom. Not sure if it matters either way, probably shouldn't. So the next we got to put it in its casing, which is this black box that kind of covers everything. First step is the control board slides inside here, notches on either side. It'll slide up in there. And then on the top, you have two screw type bolts, whatever you want to call them. They'll hold that in place, just like so. Gently tighten those. So now comes the fun part of getting all the wires under this box without pinching them. See if you can see it without everything in the way. There's certain wires on the plastic conduit wire protector on it. Those stay on the outside of the box. The ones that don't have any protectors on it, like all these, go inside the box. So you just have to just kind of fish it around, get it in place. You can kind of try to rock it around, and if it seems like it's sitting flat, you probably don't have any wires underneath, but look all around the sides that you can see. Make sure you're not pinching anything. That'll just cause problems. And then you're going to have 4 bolts that go in this case if you line it up with the holes properly. One on the front side here under some more wiring. That one's going to be a pain to start. All right, the third bolt starts over here. Nice extension helps. Tighten these up. And this piece comes in Shoving all the wires in. And there's that. So all that's left out here is the connector for the switch. Gonna pop together just like so. Then we got fuel pump wiring that I'll have to grab from the bottom side. Then we're gonna get the cover on, and as we slide it in, it's gotta get closer because see if you can see this, my starter wire is super short, and it's gotta come all the way to the front. So that's the very last thing that's gonna go on. But I gotta do that after I get the cover back on. All right, now I'm gonna drag it back out a little bit, hopefully without it falling. Put the main cover back on. See how this goes. Let's see if that's enough room. Nope, not far enough. Yeah, let me see if I can lower it some. That gives me enough room. Whoa, that went faster than I expected. Almost made some girly noises. All right, let's try that again. Oh, we might be in luck. Hey, there we go. Get all your starter wire out of the way. Guess has to go through this grommet here. There will be a grommet there. So then there's going to be 4 bolts. They are, ooh, throwing them. Torx, a T30, 2 on either side. So once I get this all the way into position, get those started, maybe it doesn't fight me. All right. Oh, that is on. Silly me, I was thinking I had to go all the way down there. Those are not the holes. Holes are right there. This has been on the whole time. Something for you to know. Don't do it like I do it. Then these will all get started here. Oh, that one's gonna be hard to get to. Ooh, steady now. Oh, those are gonna be difficult to tighten. Alright, now I'm putting the exhaust on. Gotta get a new U-bolt clamp because it's all rusted and I broke one of the nuts off, or I should say the nut broke off the stud of the U-bolt, but it's gonna work for now. I'm gonna jam this back on here. And we'll see if this one will hold for at least a little while. Yeah, that'll hold for now.